Hi guys, welcome back to Rock Fabulous 40s, and I know that it has been quite a minute since I have uploaded, and I'm really sorry. I do apologize about that. I've had some personal things going on in my life, and it just really wasn't a good time for me to be recording and uploading. So, that being said, I am back, and I'm hoping to get at least 2 videos a week posted from here on out. Fingers are crossed that it works out that way. Alright, so now that I'm back, I want to do a review on a brand new foundation that came out, and this is going to go along with that whole Finding the Perfect Foundation for Me series that I had been posting in the past. And this is a brand new foundation from Estee Lauder. This is called the Doublewear Nude Cushion Stick Radiant Makeup. This guy right here, this is what the box looks like, and this is what the actual tube of makeup looks like. It's this guy right here. He comes with a, if I can get it open, he comes with a cushion tube. He comes in a tube with the cushion on the top, and the cushion has a little hole there. Okay, and when you want to get product out of the little hole, you just twist this gold piece up and the product comes out. Okay, and the way that you're supposed to apply this is they say that you're supposed to take the cushion, dab it on, and then you blend it or buff it in with the cushion. And we're going to try to do that with it today. Now, some of you guys are probably already familiar with the original Estee Lauder Doublewear foundation makeup, the Stay in Place, I think it's called Stay in Place foundation makeup. And honestly, I tried that one and I was not a big fan. It felt a little heavy on my face. It made me look a little cakey. If you have a little bit older skin or you have fine lines and wrinkles, it's just not a really great foundation. Or if you have dry spots, it's not a really great foundation. Also, I have also tried the Estee Lauder Doublewear Light in the past, which is supposed to be a lighter weight foundation of the Doublewear, and I wasn't a big fan of that one either. That one, again, I could feel it on my face, made me look a little cakey, was not all that impressed. And I didn't even go for the maximum cover Doublewear foundation, didn't even try that one. Anyways, this one claims to have a radiant finish, or a more of a glowy type finish. So let me read just a little bit about what Estee Lauder says about this guy right here. So it says, the flawless nude with a Doublewear attitude, long wearing, natural, flawless, skin-loving, and instantly hydrating with a healthy, radiant glow. Weightless and comfortable. It protects apparently I can't read today. It protects, evens, and smooths for the look of bare skin, only flawless. Perfect for touch-ups and all-day wear. When I looked it up on the Estee Lauder website, there were 17 shades, and they sold for $39.50 each. One of the things that I was a little disappointed of right off the bat was the price point on this particular makeup. Yes, Estee Lauder is not one of your affordable brands. It is a drugstore brand. It is a little more on the pricey side, and I get that, okay? But this foundation comes with 0.47 fluid ounces for $39.50. Okay, now I am used to getting a full fluid ounce for about $39 to $40, and this is just a little bit under half of an ounce. So yeah, this is not even a full fluid ounce that you would normally get. So if you were to go buy, let's say, a bottle of the regular Estee Lauder Doublewear, okay, that's a full fluid ounce that you're getting for about the same price that you're paying for a little less than half of an ounce. So that's my first kind of not really sure about this particular product, if it's really worth the price point or not. Also, they say that you can tell when the product is wearing out or when you're running out of the product by how it looks in the tube. So when you're running out of product, you see the product actually lift from the tube here. So you're not going to run into a day when you go to pick up the product and go to try to use it and you have none left, because you're going to know immediately that you're running out. So you're not going to have that surprise, there's no makeup left in here for you to use day. So that's good. Also, I was a little leery about the sponge tip applicator here. Okay, this is a very soft, mine's dirty, I've used it. It is a very soft but dense sponge tip applicator, And it says to apply this, it says you apply a gentle tapping motion, dotting the foundation across the forehead, nose, cheeks, and chin. So you're supposed to dot, okay? And then you use this little sponge tip to buff and blend it into the skin. So it says smooth, oh, I had a text. It says to smooth out the dots with a circular motion or use light strokes across the skin to blend it. I'm a little leery about that because, I mean, the sponge feels nice, but it is kind of small when you look at the sponge, and don't look at my dirty brush. But I'm used to a big old fat brush here. So when I do my demonstration today, I'm going to show you guys me applying it with the sponge tip and then also me applying and blending with the brush, so you guys can see the difference in the finishes and how one applies versus the other. Also, it says that you can clean the sponge tip on this. It says to clean sponge, you twist the gold ring at the top to remove the entire sponge unit. You wash the sponge tip gently with mild soap and water, pat dry with the tissue to remove excess water, and immediately reattach sponge. So it says that you're supposed to be able to just twist this tip off. Let's see. Ah, okay. So you can squeeze the tip off and clean the sponge. So that is kind of nice. I was a little worried about that. I was worried that it was going to build up bacteria and I was not going to be able to clean the sponge, but that's nice. And then underneath the sponge you have, look, it looks like a little squeezy tip, kind of. So I mean, I guess you could disperse the product and then apply it with a regular brush if you wanted to. Kind of defeats the purpose of their little gimmick here though, right? Alright. Anyways, so I am in the color 2C3, or also known as Fresco. Guys, I'm going to be right up front with you. I ordered this online from Ulta.com, and I ordered what I thought would be the correct color for me. But since I have been self-tanning, I am a little darker than usual, and this is the wrong color for me right now. It's way too light. It'll probably be good for me in the winter, but for right now, it's the wrong color. So just keep that in mind when you see me applying, that it is not the right shade, and I am aware of this. So I'm not going to take the shade match into consideration when actually judging the product. And I have worn the product a couple of times already, so I already have a little bit of an idea of how I feel about the product, but I want to go ahead and apply it so you guys can actually see what it looks like when being applied. And don't look at my funky hair. It's a freaking mess today. Anyways, let me zoom you in a little bit and we'll get started. Like I said, I'm going to do one side using the Estee Lauder sponge tip applicator, and I'm going to do the other side blending with my brush. I want you guys to be able to see the difference. Alright, so I'm pulling off the cap, and then I'm going to twist this part up to disperse the product out the tip of the sponge here. Okay, do you guys see that coming out? Alright, and it is, I don't want to say it's a really thick product because it's not really thick, but it's not runny either. So I have about this much. Can you guys see that? And I'm going to go ahead and start dotting this around my face. So here we go. And it looks like I might need to disperse just a hair more. Alright, now I'm going to blend with this guy, so wish me luck. It says you can buff in circles or you can do strokes. Okay, so I do find the sponge easy to get around the eye. That's kind of nice. But I do find the sponge a little difficult to control, and I think that's partially because the sponge is so small that I feel like I have to really work the product in more, or it kind of streaks. And again, this is supposed to be a nude stick foundation, which means it's not going to be full coverage. You guys are still going to see my hyperpigmentation. For a day-to-day, daytime look for me, I don't mind a little bit of my hyperpigmentation sticking out. I mean, that's my skin. That's how I am. If you don't like it, don't look at it. Alright, I go for a more fuller coverage foundation if I'm going out in the evening. But for daytime, this is okay for me. So it is a lighter coverage. I will try to build it here in just a minute and we'll see how that goes. Okay, so this is one side of my face applied over here, and now we're bare here. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apply one layer to this side here, and we'll see how it looks when applied and then blended out with the brush. So again, I'm going to disperse some more product out the tip and start dotting. Whoops, that was a big old dot. Might just need just a tad more. And now I'm going to use this is my brush, my Tarte brush here, Tarte foundation brush. So I'm going to use this guy and blend. It blends a lot easier and faster with the brush, but with the sponge it's easier to get it under my eye and in the smaller areas because the sponge is quite a bit smaller. Okay, so this is applied with the sponge, this is applied with the brush. And actually guys, I do like the brush application a little bit better. I think from on camera you really can't notice a difference, but when I look close up in my mirror here, I can actually see a little bit of a difference. This side to me looks a little more streaky, I guess is the word that I'm looking for. And this side looks a little more natural, I think. Feeling my face, it's already dried down. So this has not stayed dewy or tacky at all. It's already dried. Should I go for a second layer and just see how it goes? What the hell? Let's do it. Alright, so I'm going to do second layer here. So here's my product, and I'm going to do this side, which is the side that I originally blended with the sponge. And I'm going to continue to blend this side with the sponge. Okay, here. Oh, I got it in my hair. Alright, here we go. Okay, so this is where you guys can tell when I go in with the second layer that the product is a little too light for me. It is providing a bit more coverage, but because it is the wrong shade, it's looking a little ashy. But that's okay. Like I said, I'm not going to hold this shade against it because I know it's the wrong color. That was my own fault. It was my bad. Okay, this is, whoops. Okay, so this is layer 2 applied with the Estee Lauder sponge. Now I'm going to go to layer 2 and I'm going to blend with the brush. Okay, again, product, and start dabbing. You guys will notice I actually start applying product down towards where I have most of my hyperpigmentation because that's the areas I want most of the product to be. And again, applying with the brush is a lot quicker and easier. And yet it does give me a little bit more coverage. Okay, so this is the second layer. This side applied with the sponge that came on the foundation, and this side applied with the brush. Again, I kind of like the application better on the brush side. And again, on camera, you really can't tell the difference, but up close, I can really see it. Okay, so I really feel like, guys, that just from the first application of this, and like I said, I've used it a couple of times, all right, but the first layer of this, I feel like it dried down pretty quickly. It was a very, very natural coverage. I mean, it did give or provide just a tiny, tiny bit of coverage, but it was very light. Okay, so after the second application, I feel like, or the second layer, I feel like the second layer actually built it up to a medium coverage, whether I used the sponge or the brush. I got about a medium coverage out of it. and it dried down pretty quickly actually. A lot of those foundations that claim to be glowy or dewy sometimes feel like they don't completely dry down. Well, this one has dried down on me, and I'm not going to have to set it with the powder. Now, like I said, I have worn this foundation a couple of times, and every time I've worn it, I haven't needed to set it with the powder because it dries down so quick, and I'm able to just put a setting spray over the top and be done with it. And with my setting spray, and I always, when I do foundation, I always use a primer and a setting spray. It's habit. So with my primer and with my setting spray, the foundation actually lasts several hours. I can get the whole day wear out of this foundation with no powder, okay? Just primer and setting spray. And it did, within a few hours, I did notice just a little tiny bit of settlage in the, what are these called, the little laugh lines or marionette lines, whatever those are called right there. I did see a little bit of settlage right there, but I was able to just take a Kleenex and just pat like this, and it was gone, and it didn't come back the rest of the day. So I thought that was pretty good. Now, like I said, the color is a little off, but that's my own fault, so I can deal with that. I do not feel like on the brush side, let me rephrase. On the sponge side over here, I feel like I can see my pores a little bit more than I can on the brush side. I almost feel like the brush kind of pushed it into those pores and kind of masked them a little bit, whereas the sponge side, it just kind of laid it over the top. So I feel like I can see a little bit of polka dots, just a little bit on the spongy side, but not the brush side. So, you know, applying with the brush might be the ideal way for me to do it. But at the same time, part of the whole gimmick of this product is the sponge. It's supposed to be an all-in-one product. You're supposed to be able to take this, toss it in your bag, go with it, have your foundation, not need a separate brush. But for me, I think I'm going to need a separate brush because I have those pores. Now, I can use a pore-filling primer and it does a little bit better. But if I just wear my normal everyday primer, it does do better with the brush. Yeah, I mean, overall, guys, it's not a bad foundation. I don't feel it on my skin. I do at first, okay? I feel it at first. After it's first applied for about the first 30 minutes or so, I do feel it on my skin. But once it settles in, I don't feel it. I don't feel it anymore. I don't feel like I have makeup on my skin. It's a nice feeling foundation. And like I said, it does last me all day. I did have a little buildup in the marionette lines, which I was able to get rid of, and it didn't come back the rest of the day, which was nice. But yeah, it's not a bad foundation. In my opinion, is it worth the $39.50 for the amount of foundation that you get and the gimmick of having the sponge? No, I don't think so. Would I buy it again in this format? No, probably not, because I feel like for less than half an ounce, $39.50 is quite pricey. So I'm paying for less product, but I'm paying to have a sponge that I like the application with the brush better. So if they were to take this product and get rid of the sponge, put it in a squeezy tube or even a pump bottle, and put the other half of ounce in here, then sure, I would probably buy this for the $39.50. I would so think it would be worth it then. But for the amount of product you're getting and the gimmick of the sponge, the $39.50 to me is not really worth it. I will go ahead and continue to use this until it's used up because I already spent the money on it. And in the winter, it will probably match my color a lot better. So yeah, I'll use it. Will I repurchase it? Probably not. If they take the same formula and put it in a squeezy tube or a pump and add the extra half of an ounce for the same price, then yeah, I probably would. So, well guys, that's my thoughts and my opinions on the Estee Lauder Doublewear Nude Cushion Stick. Like I said, the formula is pretty good. It feels good on the skin. It's a nice foundation, but with the gimmicky sponge and the half an ounce for the price point, that's where my problem lies. So I hope you guys found this video somewhat helpful, and if you did, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Guys, you can look me up on my website at www.rockfabulousonline.com. You can look me up on Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Facebook, all under Rock Fabulous 40s. And guys, don't forget to hit subscribe down there somewhere. And you too can rock your fabulous 40s, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.